Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. So the stars have finally aligned and we get to go moto camping. This is going to be a solo trip, but I brought some cool things to test out and some new gadgets to try. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Let's finally get out there and do some camping. So today we're going to go ahead and test out how well the Tiger can do when it's loaded down with gear going moto camping. I purposely brought extra stuff, loaded the bags to their max, and we're going to see how well they hold up. So we're running the Tusk Pilot Panniers, which are 35 liters a side, so 70 liters total. I have the Tusk dry duffel bag on top, which is 44 liters. And I have the MSR Rover vest again, which has 12 pockets or so, I think. We're going to go over that. And then I got another little just Amazon dry bag on the very top, which has my food and beverages in it. So I'm pretty nervous that that's going to fall off. But what are you going to do? Again, I have about 120 so liters worth of storage on this bike right now, a good amount of weight, and so far, at least on the road, I haven't really noticed much of a difference. So the suspension's holding up pretty well so far, but we'll see what happens when we get off-road. But today we are going to a place called Morgan Hill State Forest. It's kind of my go-to for moto camping. It's the first place I ever went, and it's kind of got a special place in my heart for that reason. But also it has both dispersed camping and it has a little area that they call a campground, but it's really just a bunch of sites around a pond. And the sites around the pond, you actually have to call the forest ranger and reserve a site. You don't have to pay for it, but you do have to put your name down. The sites are first come first serve, and we are getting a late start today. It's at about 4 o'clock on a Friday, so I'm kind of hoping there'll be some spots open. But Morgan Hill also does have a bunch of primitive dispersed sites that you can camp on where you don't need a reservation, you don't have to call ahead, you don't have to do anything. Again, you still don't have to pay, but those sites seem to fill up pretty quick. There's one site in particular that I'm really hoping to get. It's off a trail in the back. It's completely secluded. I think it used to be an old fire tower that's not there anymore, but you're all by yourself and it's a really fun spot. The only bad part about that spot is there's not a whole lot of good flat ground, soft ground for a tent. You kind of have to go in the woods a little bit. Not a big deal, but being alone is the #1 thing I'm looking for right now. Like I said, this is a solo trip. There was a couple people I asked to join me and they couldn't make it. Their schedules didn't line up with mine, and I'm busy for the next couple weekends, so sometimes you just gotta go. And solo camping's not a bad thing. You know, it's good to just get out here and be with yourself sometimes. The quietness, nothing's bothering you. I keep checking this bag. I feel like it's gonna fall off. So these Pilot Panniers are really nice until you really need to pack them full of all your gear plus some. So if you're going on a really long trip, obviously 35 liters a side isn't great. But for everything else, for day trips, for even just overnight camping, they're plenty. And they're not too big, so when you're out casually riding or going off-road, you don't have to kind of take them on or off or anything like that. You can leave them right on there. They don't hinder your ability to ride. They don't get in your way at all, which is nice. Obviously, I wasn't worried about lack of power being able to haul this stuff. It was more the suspension and how it would handle it, and if I would notice a big difference on the road, but I haven't, so that's good. So we're kind of coming into the forest now, Morgan Hill State Forest, and we're pretty close to hitting the off-road section. So just a couple notes. On the way in here, hitting a couple of those twisty roads, you definitely felt the weight of the luggage on the back. It wasn't anything crazy, but you didn't feel very confident going into turns very fast, unfortunately. I mean, that's what you expect with all the luggage on the back, but let's see how the weight, let's see how the extra weight does on some gravel. I think I definitely need to pump up the rear, adjust the rear a little bit. I'm going to do that on the way out tomorrow. So today I'm just going to see how the setup goes with it at normal settings, what they have in the manual. Again, I'm 250 pounds. I have, I'd say 70 pounds of luggage right now. So there's a spot here and no one's there, but it's really close to the road. I didn't want to do that. So obviously not too technical of off-road, but it's a lot of gravel. And there's a couple sections that are really loose gravel that are a little sketchy. So I wanted to see how the extra weight does in those sections. Again, these Tusk Pilot Panniers are pretty rugged, and they're such a great price. I didn't get the pannier racks that come along with this, or that you can buy with it. I got some ones off of eBay because I also run the Nelson rig. I forget the name of them, but they're the smaller ones. They're only like 15 liters a side. So if I know I'm doing a lot of off-roading for a good amount of time, then I'll switch those. You know, obviously it's just less weight, less bulkage, if that's a word. So here's the really sketchy turn with the loose gravel. It's actually been beaten down pretty good, so not too bad at all. It didn't feel squirrely at all. I came around that corner once with my Triumph Scrambler, and that was the closest I've ever been to going down on that bike. Yeah, even on this, you can certainly feel the weight. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. You can definitely feel it. You're not as nimble, not as mobile. So if you're packing the bike and you're gonna do some off-road, you really need to pack smart, pack minimal. I also do have some weight up high. I didn't pack properly. I was in a hurry and I just kind of threw some stuff in the bag, and I know that, I know that's off-roading 101. Take your time and pack properly, but I didn't. So tomorrow morning when I pack up, I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna adjust the suspension and we'll get a better look at what the bike feels like. So again, this is Morgan Hill State Forest. What I'm doing now is I'm going to check that one campsite that's kind of off in the back, off a trail, to see if anyone's there, because like I said, everything is first come first serve, and I want to kind of stake my claim if it is available, and then I'll probably go back out and do a little bit more and show you the rest of the park. So I believe this is it. Well, let's see if we got lucky or not. A little muddy back here. Place your bets. Place your bets. Yes! There's no one here. Ha ha ha. Look at this place. Oh, whoa, that's different. So you see how far we had to come up that trail. There's nothing from here to there. There is one camp spot right there, but it's kind of included in this. I mean, if someone popped up and went over there, I wouldn't really care. But you got all this room. This wasn't here the last time I was here. They must have made a new trailhead. That's pretty cool. Check that out later. But yeah, just us. Nobody up here. It's pretty amazing. For free. You got a picnic table. You got your fire pit. Hopefully there's bug spray in that can, because I did not bring any. No. Well. So what's always step one when you're camping? That's right. At least this way setting up will be a little bit more fun. It's a good thing that this was here, because I completely forgot to bring bug spray. And I don't know what it's like by you, but before June in New York, the black flies are crazy. If you don't know what a black fly is, it's a little tiny gnat looking thing, but they are everywhere and they don't leave you alone. So for a tent today, Kelty Grand Mesa. So for lounging, we have the Tusk chair. I have this Trekology side table that I absolutely love. So I had to take a break from getting set up and get a fire going because the bugs are that bad. And this little tree happened to be laying right there, so I'm burning that first. But definitely got to get some more wood. So for a sleeping pad, we still have a little Amazon one that hasn't broken on me yet, so I figured why get rid of it. And then for comforter, we have the Kelty Galactic 30. I usually just use it as a blanket, especially when it's warmer out. I don't really wrap myself up in a sleeping bag. It's just more comfortable for me. And of course, the Nemo Fillo sleeping pillow. The Nemo Fillo pillow. There we are. Alright, well, we're going hunting for more firewood. There's a big tree down right there. So like a lot of places, you can harvest your own firewood, but it has to be dead or down. And you actually, in New York state law, that you can't transport firewood more than 50 miles. So in a place like this, you don't really have a choice but to harvest your own. Luckily, got a lot of down stuff just like this. That'll do. Now that we got some hot coals, it's time for some dinner. So this is my grate that I brought from home because the ones that come on these are always disgusting. So I'm just sitting here waiting for my dinner to cook. Time to enjoy another beverage. So I think the Tiger did pretty well, loaded down with all that gear. Like I said, you can definitely feel it. And in the loose stuff, it did feel a little squirrely in the back end. But in the morning, I'm going to adjust the suspension a little bit, and we're going to try it again. But like I said, once you get it dialed in, I think that the Tiger can handle anything. My shortfall was that my pannier racks are only 35 liters a side, and I didn't have enough room. I had to pile more stuff up high. So all my weight was a little higher, which obviously you're going to feel that in the turns more than if you had bigger panniers and you could put the weight down low. But I put those Tusk Pilot Panniers through some through some serious stuff, and I've put those through some serious terrain and they've held up great, you know. And again, it's not even, I don't even have the pannier racks that are supposed to come with it. It was just ones that I found on eBay, and the tie-on points are a little sharp, so I expected the straps to wear through, but they haven't even frayed yet. They've held up really, really well. You know, Tusk makes some great products for really cheap. Rocky Mountain really has that lineup dialed in. And that top bag, the 44-liter dry bag on top, I've had that for a couple of years and not a scratch on it. Again, that's been through some stuff too. Bugs are coming back. But overall, very impressed. I mean, longevity is another thing. You know, I don't know if they're going to hold up for 10 years, but for someone who's just starting out moto camping or starting out with an adventure bike and needs panniers, it's really hard to go out and spend thousands of dollars on Giant Loop or Moscow Moto or all those. So Tusk is a really good place to start. At the Dinner of Champions, the kielbasa. These flies are so bad. I had to put the long sleeve back on. Can't go wrong with kielbasa. I'm willing to bet you've been eating Campbell's soup wrong your entire life. Let me show you. Open it up. Give it a quick little stir. Go at it. Oh yeah. Right out of the can. Come on. Never dipped kielbasa in it. Okay. I'm sure you're thoroughly grossed out now, so I'll spare you the rest of it. So I'm wearing these Climb Marrakesh pants, and they are absolutely phenomenal around the campsite. They're great for riding too, but they're basically just like wearing regular pants, slacks, jeans, whatever, hanging around the campfire. So you don't have to bring an extra pair of clothes with you when you go camping. You can just wear these all day while you ride, and then around the campfire, around the campsite, they're very, very comfortable. Again, Climb for the win. So I got a new power station to take while we're camping. This is the Jackery. This is the Jackery Explorer 100 Plus. As you can see, it's, you know, pretty small, about the size of a brick. You turn it on. So I charged this up probably 2 weeks ago, and if you can see, it's still at 100%. So I wanted to do a little test. My phone is currently at 53%, so you know I'm not lying. Hopefully you can see that. Come on, focus. Well, it's at 53%. So I wanted to plug it in and see how long it takes to get my phone charged. It comes with this high-speed cable. So we're gonna wait. Right now it is 6:54. We're gonna see how long it takes to get up to charge. Jackery Explorer 100 Plus. Now, I got this off of Amazon and there was a deal, so I got it for $100. And so far, it has absolutely been worth the money. So I told you how I decided to overpack on this trip because I wanted to see how well the Tiger would handle it. So I brought 2 chairs. This is your Tusk chair, and this is a chair by Blue. Obviously this one's a lot bigger, a lot wider. It's a high back chair, but it is extremely comfortable. And You can get this for a really good price. Now, just a personal opinion, this chair is much more comfortable than your Tusk. It's a little bit bigger, but it packs down to just about the same size. So you don't always have to buy fancy, even though the Tusk isn't a fancy chair. But this blue I got on Amazon for, I want to say 40 bucks. And it's lasted me a couple years, and it's been a fantastic chair. So shout out to Blue. Alright, so it's been 1 hour and I am fully charged. We went from 50% to 100%, and I played music that entire time. Let's see where the Jackery's at. Jackery's at 88%. Hope you can see that. So, charged my phone from 50 to 100% in an hour, and there's still 88% left on the Jackery itself. I'm pretty happy with that. For 100 bucks, this thing's nice and small, nice and packable, and I'm very happy. Again, that's the Jackery Explorer 100 Plus. You know, moto camping alone is interesting. It's a whole lot of work in the beginning. Obviously, getting unpacked, getting set up, getting the firewood. But once all that's done, it's so relaxing. Nice and peaceful. A lot of people are, I hate to say scared, but they're scared to do it. You know, it's not, there's something about being out here, especially dispersed camping or camping not in a campground with people all around you. There's something about it that just kind of scares people. It's a little unnerving, but I don't know. It's nice to just get away from everything. Put on some music, sit by the fire, enjoy a nice cigar. Just kind of erases all the stress from the week and everything going on in the world. Because what's happening out here? Nothing's happening. It's great. So don't be afraid to get out there. You know, there's always hesitation before you go, especially when you go solo. You know, packing up, getting ready to go, you're always hesitant. Do I really want to do it? Is it worth it? But then you get out here, and it absolutely is. So if you're one of those people who's planned on going multiple times, just never have, just do it. I mean, what do you have to lose? If you're not having a good time, if it's too much work, if you don't like it, just pack up and go home. But I guarantee you, once you get out here, you know, get everything set up, get your firewood, get your fire going, eat some dinner, and just finally sit down and relax, you're going to be very happy you did. So get out there and do it. Stop making excuses. There's just something about climbing into a cold tent at night. Oh, we'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning, everybody. So it rained pretty good last night. Everything got real wet. So what I do when that happens is I have one of these Tusk Defender 35-liter dry bags. Actually come with the Tusk Pilot Panniers. But I just take one out and I put all my wet tents and everything in that bag to keep it separate from everything else. And then when I get home, I'll just take it all out and dry it out. But we're getting ready to hit the road. As you can see, got all my Tusk bags nice and full. And I wanted to switch up the suspension, at least see where we were at before we hit the road, because it's a little soft. So it looked like it was on 5. So we're gonna go all the way to 10. All right, so we did 10 clicks. 10.5 is in the manual for road riding, but it's also for whether you have a passenger or a lot of luggage. So 10 clicks on the rear. We're going to see how it handles now. Let's head home. Alright, so we are headed home now. That was a fun night. It didn't rain until after I was already in bed, which is good. But before we head out of Morgan Hill, we're going to take a loop around. Hopefully see the pond. So I can already tell, stiffening the rear suspension, turning it up to 10, it's definitely a different ride. So I thought 5 would be enough. Give me a little give coming off-road, but it was just too soft. So when you got a lot of luggage, I'd probably leave your rear suspension around, you know, somewhere between 8 and 10, depending on your weight too. Obviously, again, I am 250 pounds. Oh, let's enjoy Morgan Hill for a minute. So I think for her maiden voyage, the Tiger did phenomenal with moto camping. It was able to take all this luggage, my fat butt, and did the off-road sections very well. So obviously, first moto camping trip on the Tiger, first moto camping trip this year was a success, even though it's raining now. Didn't really rain at all last night until I got into the tent, so it was a great night. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this content. Like the video, it helps me out a ton. We'll see you next time.